What's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the Dense Pixels podcast. I'm your host, Brad, joined by my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
No Terrence this week. We might be without Terrence for a little bit because Terrence has no recording device. So we have to get that problem solved first. So we just might be flying with the dynamic duo here for a little bit. We have lots of Evo talk to get to later in the show. Slow news week, that's okay. Evo will take up a lot of the air in the discussion space, but we're going to start by talking about some Destiny 2 because Micah is back in it, he tells me.
I'm back in, baby. I started because, you know, the big summer event is here. And I started that, and I don't know if I want to finish it.
Well, so I'll be satisfied if I can just get the purple set. Like I'm about halfway through upgrading the green armor. Those orbs are a pain in the ass, man.
Yeah, they are.
I figure once I get all the prereqs out of the way, I'll get someone like you or another friend just to tag team and knock out the Redux missions, because apparently they're a lot easier when you have more people. And
yeah, because they're not easy when you're alone.
No, certainly not. Homecoming, I got stuck on that last boss or that last section for a little bit. I'm definitely not getting Masterworks on those armors because I've seen some of the tasks you need to complete, and they're not in my class, let's say. So again, I'll be happy if I get purple. Oh, by the way, pro tip for you guys that might be struggling getting the super kills in Crucible, Mayhem is back this week. So if you need to knock that prereq off, just go play some Mayhem for like an hour, and you'll probably get all the super kills you need to check that box. I think it's like 30 that you need in order to tick that box on the leg armor. So
excellent. I am as we spoke about briefly, the thing that got me back was I wanna get a couple weapons. I want to get the sleeper simulant, which is the longer of the two quests that I'm doing, but it feels like it's easier. And I want to get the Polaris Lance. And I'm getting the sleeper simulant just because, like, I'm never going to use it. I don't think I'm going to use it because I don't like fusion rifles. Scout rifles I'm kind of getting back into, so I figured let me practice with the Polaris Lance. I'm about halfway through both of them. The Polaris Lance quest is like is it 10 or is it like 7? I think it's 7, and I'm on step 5. And the Polaris Lance is 5 quests long, 5 steps, and I'm like halfway through step 3. And yeah, escalation protocol is the thing that's kind of tripping me up. So for those of you that don't know, escalation protocol is a public event that happens when someone triggers it, and it's just a horde mode, and it's just waves and waves of enemies, and you have to clear certain waves and do certain objectives within a certain amount of time. And then if you do it, you go to the next starting point, and then everything gets more difficult. And it's very difficult when you are, 1, as low level as I am, and 2, reliant on the kindness of strangers.
Well, I mean, like escalation protocol is kind of a stranger event, because the most that you could get in with is 3, because it's not like a raid. Like, you can still only go down with your fire team of 3, I think, to that event, and it's not an easy thing to do. Like, it does require other people, but if you're lucky, there's enough usually people creeping around Mars. It's just that everyone has to join in.
Everybody's got to want to participate,
right? And
people are selfish, so they're not going to participate generally if they don't need it. Now, the good thing is, for the Polaris Lance, you got to clear 10 escalation protocol levels, but they don't have to be consecutive. You could just do level 1 10 times if you want. That's not too bad.
It sounds very tedious to do.
It's incredibly tedious, but I mean, the other option is, dying at the 3rd level all the time,
which is what usually happens.
Right. So, but yeah, man, I'm back in it. I'm just running Titan. I don't want to burn myself out with the other characters.
I gave up the dream of running multiple characters a long time ago. Like my Titan is still sitting at 301. I haven't finished the Osiris campaign with him, much less the Warmind campaign. I'm about my hunter. Like maybe if I get my hunter maxed out with these 2 weeks left, with 2 weeks left to go before the expansion releases, then maybe I might dabble again with my Titan. But it's not a priority for me right now, for sure.
Yeah, same thing with at this point, I'm just dressing up my hunt. I'm playing dress up with my hunter. Just, and I'm giving my hunter my Titan hand-me-down guns. And but yeah, I'm back in it. And now I'm excited for Forsaken.
So we will they had a stream today, and I'll queue up some news about that while I talk. But so I finally did the raid. Completed the raid for the first time. I talked last week that we got 3/4 of the way through and then got hung up on Callus a little bit. We went back in it this week. We had a great Sherpa. So shout out to my buddy Nixon for getting that all together, and we did it. It was a lot of fun, man. Like I said, the raid is cool, especially if you haven't done. Like I see so many people, like so many streamers online, just kind of roll their eyes, like, "Oh, the raid, like it's so tedious." Yeah, because you've done it 75 to 100 times.
Yeah.
It's easy to forget what it's like the first couple times you go through it. And it's just cool, man, because like I said, I didn't really get a chance to do any of the raids in Destiny 1. Like my experience with raids in Destiny 1 is I got to the second encounter in Vault of Glass and didn't get past it. So that was my raiding career up to that point. So it was cool just to be able to finally go through it, and not only go through it, but go through it to the point where we actually, even though we'd only played it through it twice, essentially, we became a pretty well-oiled machine going through the mechanics. Like when we did the gauntlet, we did that, first try, no problem. The dogs, everyone took care of business on their end. So the encounters were really fun. We got to go through the underbelly a little bit as well. So that was a more interesting way to do it. I don't know if you're familiar, Micah, but there's a alternate path to go through in between the encounters, because normally you have to go back to the main area and fight a bunch of ads essentially every time. But there's a route that you can take that takes you basically under the ship, that has a lot of like jumping puzzles and platforming puzzles and stuff like that you have to get through.
Cool.
So, but it was fun, man. Like I said, I really enjoyed it. I got half the gear, so like I have three of the 5 pieces of raid armor for my hunter. I have the rocket launcher, I have the sniper rifle, the auto rifle, the scout rifle, that all from the raid. So it was good times, man. Like I said, I'm glad that I got to do it. Don't know yet if I'm going to be able to do either of the raid layers before the expansion comes out, because they'll be cool if we can get those done. But I'm looking forward to whatever the next full raid is going to be with the expansion. It is not in the docket, but we'll just, since we're talking Destiny 2, we'll go ahead and just use this opportunity to talk about the stream that Bungie did today, where they detailed the differences to combat in the game. Mike, I don't know if you've seen any of this. I saw a little bit of it earlier today.
Nope.
So the biggest thing, if you're not familiar, is the way that they're changing how ammo works in Forsaken. So basically right now you have kinetic weapons, which can be any like normal type of weapon, but it drops without a burn, an elemental burn on it. You have secondary weapons, which drop with an elemental burn, but they're the same types of weapons. And then you have heavy weapons, which are power weapons, which are like your rocket launchers, fusion rifles, shotguns, snipers, grenade launchers, swords, stuff like that. So they're changing it now, so that now there's going to be, instead of having different types of weapons that slot into different sections of your inventory, each weapon is going to be paired with a type of ammo. So like hand cannons, scouts, autos, I think sidearms are all going to be weapons that take white ammo. Okay. And then snipers, shotties, fusion rifles, trying to think, some of the other like mid-tier weapons are going to be all green ammo weapons. And then your rocket launchers, your grenade launchers, and your swords, and some special weapons like the Whisper sniper rifle and Legend of Acreus are going to stay purple ammo. But the trick is that you're not limited to which slot you can equip them in. You can equip any weapon in any loadout slot that you want. So if you want to run triple shotguns, you can do that, but they're all going to take green ammo, basically, no matter what. And of course, if you're getting kills with green ammo weapons, usually it doesn't drop green ammo. So that's where the balance is going to come into play. And then they're also changing it so that, I mean, obviously random rolls are coming back. That's something that's been talked about and discussed. So, and to the point where I think both perks on a lot of the legendary weapons are getting switched out for random perks. And then mods are changing in such a way that first of all, mods are not going to provide a power boost to the weapon anymore. So that's gone. You also can't change the burn type of a weapon either. So like once a weapon has a burn type set, that weapon is that burn forever. Now that being said, if you have weapons that have different burn types, so like if let's say you have three fighting lions and each of them has a different burn on them, they'll keep that burn when the expansion comes out. So if you're the type that wants to have like 3 sins of the past all with a different burn, you can still keep that burn. They won't revert back to like solar. So that's
so if I have so if I have a particular weapon that I like, but I want to be able to use it on different elemental thing, I'm gonna have to have 3 of those. Like I'm gonna have to have 3 shotguns if I want.
Basically, yeah. If you
Wow.
want 1 for each burn, essentially.
Okay. So I'm gonna have to find 3 and then plug them in and then just kind of hold on to them.
Yes. And also pro tip for you guys playing Destiny, save all of your tokens right now. Don't spend any of them because the vendors are all going to get brand new weapons and armor when the expansion comes out, and they'll actually help you level up faster. Because right now they're probably useless for you.
A bunch of them are just fucking useless.
But mods now are going to actually change how you play. Like some of the mods you can put on guns, like it'll do bonus damage against like bosses or yellow bar enemies, or they'll do extra damage when you use them in strikes and stuff like that. Like that's the type of mods that they're going to have for the guns now.
Okay,
pretty cool. And the even better part is if you get a gun that has a mod on it, if you dismantle the gun, you keep the mod. Like the mod just goes to your inventory and you can put it on another weapon if you want to.
Good.
So so even the drops you get for that you don't give a shit about still might be important now. Finally, like that, like they actually made that thing. TTK and the Crucible time to kill is decreasing. So basically, 3-tap hand cannons are back. The golden gun and throwing knife and tether and all that stuff are getting buffs. They're going to do more damage. 2-hit melees are back in the Crucible, so if you can double tap on them, back there. And the other cool thing too is that Masterworks are getting like a tiered system. So like now there's going to be like 10 levels of Masterwork basically that you can spend on your guns, so that the best your favorite guns you can really like trick out and stuff like that. It'd be very cool. So they did a big old stream today. A lot of people, even a lot of jaded folks, are very excited about the changes that are being made to combat. So that looks pretty cool. Yeah, man, I can't wait. It's a month away. It's going to be a lot of fun, I think, and hopefully that'll bring the player base back in. They're dropping the update that has the changes to like how the weapons work the week before the expansion comes out. So everyone's gonna have a week to get used to the new way that the guns shake out, and then the expansion will come out. So
excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. I can't wait.
It's a good time to be a Destiny fan. And like I said, maybe Terrence will finally join in.
No, he
probably not. So.
No, he pig-headed. He ain't
So some quick housekeeping notes. Make sure to go to youtube.com/densepixels, and while you're there, click the red subscribe button and ring the bell. That way you never miss an episode of this podcast, which we post in video format to YouTube every single week. Of course, if you listen to it through audio podcast apps, no matter what the app is, make sure you subscribe to the podcast. We'll deliver it in your sleep like a podcast ninja for you to listen to the next day. And of course, go to densepixels.com/premium to sign up for the TNP Studios premium membership for just $5 a month or $50 for the entire year to get weekly episodes to look forward, our political show, the airing of grievances featuring Jay and Micah talking about Seinfeld, the No Time to Bleed action movie podcast, and the Men with the Golden Tongues, Micah and myself's James Bond /spy movie podcast. So check all that out, densepixels.com/premium. Try it out for a month, pay the $5. We guarantee you'll be back for the other 50. Over 300 hours of content and more coming every single week. So new releases, Madden Hand Egg 19 coming out for the PS4 and Xbox One this week. I know you're very excited, Micah, for the American football video game release.
I totally forgot about it. I totally forgot about it. I'm giving it a break this year. I know every black person is saying that this year, and 40% of them mean it. I'm part of 40%. I'm taking a break from football this year.
Just like I said, I still stand above everybody else as doing it before it was cool. Now everybody's coming to my side of the side of things. Cool with it. So We Happy Few finally getting an official release this week, even though it's been in early access for about 2 years at this point. So if you want a 60s themed dystopian simulator, you can check that one out. And then Overcooked 2 releasing for PS4, Xbox One, and Switch, a game that I thoroughly enjoyed, and Terrence also gives his seal of approval to. So if you're looking for a great couch co-op game that can enrage your relationships with your significant others / roommates / best friends, definitely check out Overcooked 2, which also has online co-op play, which the first one did not have as well. We have free PlayStation games for August that have been announced. You should be able to download those as you're listening to this. So for the month of August, it's actually a pretty decent month. You get Mafia 3 for free on PlayStation 4. And then you get Dead by Daylight as well, the 4 versus 1 horror game that was probably going to be a bigger deal until Friday the 13th came and shit all over it. On PS3, you also get Bound by Flame, and you also get Serious Sam 3. And on PlayStation Vita, you get Space Hulk, which I think is cross-buy, maybe, possibly. I might be wrong about that. But yeah, that's there. And then there's also 2 free games available through October 2nd. There's a VR game called Here They Die, which is a nightmarish city experience game. Yeah, lots of crazy stuff and creatures. And then the game called Knowledge is Power, which is one of the PlayLink games, which is a trivia game. I have played it. It was okay. Buzz, if you remember the Buzz trivia games, I thought were much better. But if you're looking for something couch game that 4 people can play, as long as you all have smartphones, Knowledge is Power is all right. Other games coming out this week digitally, Dead Cells, which has gotten some buzz in our gaming group, densepixels.com/fans.
That game's really good.
You can stay away, Micah. This is a Metroidvania / Metroid style game.
Say no more.
So you're probably pretty good. And because it hadn't released yet on Nintendo Switch, Okami HD has released on Nintendo Switch. Yet another platform for Okami.
That's a good platform for Okami to be on.
I would agree. It just reminds me that Capcom has never made a game that they could re-release 800 times. So. And new game announcements. Destiny 2 announced finally the Legendary Collection releases September 4th for $60. That will be the base game, the Osiris expansion, the Warmind expansion, and Forsaken, all in one bundle. It is important to note that that does not include the annual pass, which is a separate purchase. That'll give you the access to all the events that are happening through year 2. And then The World Ends With You can finally get your release date for the Switch, October 12th. I don't care. I tried to play that game on the DS, and I was bored to tears within the first 45 minutes.
Yeah, it didn't strike me as something that I would enjoy. It felt like a poor man's version of, like, it was trying to be Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, and that's probably why I hated it, because I was like, man, this is a lot of Kingdom Hearts. I think I rented that from GameFly, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, man, whatever happened to GameFly?
Yeah, they're still kicking around.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how big a deal it is anymore, but they're still around. So, well, that is it for new releases. I will continue onward with headlines. Only 2 stories in headlines this week. The first one is that Fallout 76, the PC version, is not going to be sold on Steam whatsoever. Basically, that they are going to make the game available for PC download through Bethesda.net. So Bethesda hopping on the direct sales bandwagon. We saw this with Fortnite sidestepping the Google Play Store to avoid having to give Google the 30% cut that they are entitled to by hosting on their marketplace. And it would appear that Fallout is doing the same thing as Steam goes. Micah, do you think that this is going to be the beginning of an exodus from Steam, at least for bigger publishers?
Bigger publishers, absolutely. Once sales figures come in and people realize, wait a minute, like, what are we doing here with Steam? We've got Origin and BattleNet and Bethesda Marketplace. And yeah, I mean it makes smart business sense to me. It's there's no additional fee for downloading it from them directly. And you bypass, you bypass any fees or whatever that Steam has. Steam is good for people who can't, like, who want to get their game out there, but it's Bethesda, it's Fallout. Like, Carrie already pledged her loyalty to this game sight unseen.
I saw it too, like during after the E3 presentation, she literally carved like a 76 into her hand and then like put it into the middle of a gear shaped symbol that she had drawn on the ground that had Todd Howard's head, his picture in the middle of it. So all the ritual, it was a little disturbing, but she's already there.
Yeah. So, it makes sense for big publishers. Yeah, it absolutely makes sense.
What do you think? Apparently with the beta, it's just going to be the full game and it's just going to be, let you run around and check it out in. Does that seem like a bad idea?
How long is the beta going to be?
I don't know if it's timed or not.
If it's timed, yeah, sure, why not?
It is invite only though, so that's interesting.
Oh, well, yeah.
But I mean, I think you get an invite if you pre-order the game. So I don't think it's I don't think it's exclusive.
Well, if you pre-ordered the game, especially if you pre-ordered it through them, I'm sure they're not going to give you a refund.
That's true, probably.
So it's essentially you just playing the game early access. I'm really tired of the word beta. Like,
it doesn't mean what it should.
It doesn't mean what it used to mean. Like, they're demos, they're early access. They're, call it something other than a beta. A beta is used to get bugs out of games.
Server stress test, the SST.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I mean, I guess with Fallout, it is still kind of more of a traditional beta because we all know Bethesda. There's going to be shit that's broken to holy hell when that game releases, and I guess they're trying to catch as much of that stuff as they can before the full release.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, the only people that would really care about certain things, about them being inconvenienced by certain bugs, are the people who are, never gonna quit this series anyway. I don't know. All I know is hardcore uppity PC master race people who used to love Fallout now think this is the Call of Duty of Fallouts because there's multiplayer in it, right?
Then you know what? They're gonna have the same reaction that Call of Duty fans do. The same fucking every year. You always see the same fucking Call of Duty rose. Man, this one looks like shit. I don't like it. Fuck. I hate jetpacks. They're dumb. I'm not buying it this year. And then 2 weeks later, bro's playing it. Oh yeah, all my friends had it, so I had to get it. Shut up, Fallout fans. I don't.
Yeah, exactly. You're becoming the thing you hate.
Like I said, you can bitch and moan until the game releases. Then I'll just check it out. I'll try it on a week.
Right.
I'm playing it 3 months later.
I mean, I owe it to myself as a fan to check it out.
Man, you put like 150 hours into this in 3 months. Yeah, I still hate it though. It sucks.
Yeah, what a piece of shit.
Why are you still playing it? Well, my friends are on there.
Because the old Fallouts I put 300 hours in.
Right.
All right.
I'm really done with that NPCs. It's so stupid. It's like no man die with Fallout. It's terrible. Why are you playing it? Well, I'm trying to get these nuclear codes so I can set off this nuclear bomb. It gets weird, but it totally sucks. I think that's the thing that I'm most tired of. I'm most tired of gamers bitching about things that they enjoy. Just enjoy them.
Just enjoy it, man. Look, I had that come to Jesus moment with Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed pisses me off to no end, but I like it. It's like a bad relationship. Every Capcom game pisses me off, but I buy them all.
Or at least if you're not going to enjoy it, at least hold true to your principles. Like if you're not going to enjoy it, then don't play it.
Yeah, then don't play it.
Bail out. Game won't miss you.
Right.
Use your time. But don't play something and then just like bitch about it the entire time. That's dumb. Because now you're wasting your time in addition to, apparently infuriating yourself, which we know is not true.
Right. You were happy to get up off of that $60. At bare minimum, you probably just impulse bought the collector's edition. Well, I had to get the collector's edition because I had to get the little Fallout guy.
Wear the helmet. The first time they've ever, really, if you think about it, it's worth it for the helmet alone. I'm really just buying the helmet, and then the game's like whatever.
Yeah. I bought the helmet, and it came with the game. You see. Shut up.
So, like I said, I appreciate Carrie in that she doesn't front, man. Like she knows who she is.
Yeah, man. Like every couple of years you buy a broken game. We all do it.
And like I said, nowadays games get fixed, man. Like I said, look at Destiny year 1 to Destiny year 2. Everyone's bitching, in December, like, oh, Destiny sucks, it's dead. I guarantee you, everyone's come back in year 2. It's kind of like what a really smart and intrepid podcaster predicted back when Destiny 2 first came out. Because that smart and intrepid podcaster had seen what had happened with Destiny 1, had remembered his friends getting really excited playing Destiny 1, and then kind of like, falling off, but then coming back when year 2 came out because they fixed all the problems from year 1. And then for some reason, like people assumed that the same thing wasn't going to happen again.
Why are my ears burning? Jesus.
I don't know. So I hope my headphones aren't going to catch fire. So yeah, enjoy your games, people. Enjoy your games. I'm not saying you can't criticize, but don't fucking complain and bitch.
Yeah, don't front. Don't front and act like you don't enjoy it. Come on, man.
So here's a story that I got to tell you, I could not care less about. I wish Carrie was on the show this week because she was ranting and raving about this earlier today. We'll get into this. So Nintendo has updated their Zelda timeline because all the Zelda games exist on a coherent timeline, allegedly. So, and they've assigned Breath of the Wild a place on that timeline, and apparently it happens at the very end, according to Hidemaru Fujibayashi, who is the director of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. He says that the game occurs long after any of the titles released to date, because apparently the game itself chronicles 10,000 years of Hyrule history. And apparently, for Zelda lore fans, if there is such a thing,
what?
I'm unaware, Breath of the Wild appears to sit completely disconnected from all of the other series entries, linking with none of the established divergent timelines that have existed previously. Zelda, Michael, what? Who cares? Who actually cares about the Zelda fucking timeline?
I'm really upset that there is one timeline for all these Zelda games.
I didn't know that.
I did not know. I thought they all took place in like their own different.
No, apparently a couple years ago, when they released that like Zelda compendium that they came out with, they established like a timeline that all of these games fit in, and apparently, because I guess the game exists inside a repeating prophecy that happens, like the Reapers, are overseeing the Zelda universe. There's always going to be an ancient evil named Ganon and a hero named Link that comes and saves the day, and history is doomed to repeat itself over and over again.
So then, so they're not related. None of the links are related. Like they're not like ancestors of other links.
Who knows? Why don't we consult the Zelda lore fans on the Zelda historical timeline? Micah, there's an entire wiki for it.
Yo,
there's an entire wiki for it.
I mean, look,
and apparently, like some of the games exist on alternate timelines because of the issues that happen in Ocarina of Time.
yeah, you can't have a game. You can't have a game series set in one timeline, and then one of those games messes with time, like quite literally, and because it doesn't. Like none of them are going to match up. I'm looking at this.
There's divergent paths, Micah. It is the, you know, there are multiple dimensions apparently that this exists on.
Yo, this is dumb, yo. All right, so if Link is defeated, then you get one set of games, and if Link is victorious, then you get two different sets of wow.
Well, so and apparently, so if I'm looking at this, so if Link is defeated in Ocarina of Time, then you get Link to the Past, the best Zelda game. You get the original NES Zeldas, which are also pretty good as well. If Link is triumphant during the adult Link era, you get the shitty, like, cartoony Link games. Who the fuck wants that timeline? Give me the failed Link timeline.
Yeah.
This is silly.
This is something.
This is silly, and I don't know why people are upset about the fact that they apparently did not pay much mind to. They you know what? Nintendo paid exactly as much mind to the Zelda timeline with Breath of the Wild as they should, which is very little.
Yeah, this is called a reboot. this is called, yeah, this takes place like 3,000 years after the adventure of Link or Four Swords Adventures or Spirit Tracks.
Speaking of hearing things through time-space continuums, I can hear Carrie screaming in my ear as she listens to this episode. She gets very upset with us.
This is a terrible universe to live in, where there's always an evil who gets the Triforce of power. There is always a good who gets the Triforce of wisdom, and there's always a hero who gets the Triforce of courage.
The same one. Same one. Again, the Reapers from Mass Effect are fucking looking at Hyrule being like, we're just going to put Hyrule on a 5,000 year loop.
Wait, it's the same Triforce?
Apparently.
Yo, all right, fuck this.
Because what happens to are we to believe that like throughout this entire like thing, Hyrule has just remained Hyrule forever, and people are just like, well, we'll just call it this forever. And look, there's a princess. Her name's Zelda. Uh-oh, that must mean there's a dude named Link who's a regular boy, but he's going to become a great hero one day. Because Ganon's coming to fuck shit up.
How does the Master Sword get back in the stone?
Micah, you are asking questions that are logical, but have no good reason, and therefore we will bypass them for the convenience of our narrative that we are trying.
Like do Link and Zelda die eventually? Like,
one assumes.
Is it the same Master Sword and the same Hylian shield?
Who knows? Who knows? You're asking questions that require more thought. That I'm sure you could dive into the wiki for and find a lot of like half-baked answers.
Yeah, nah, man.
Here, or we can do what Nintendo probably wants us to do and just enjoy each Zelda adventure for what it is, as a self-contained story that is not adherent or, you know, beholden to any other of these Zelda games, with the exception of the ones that are direct sequels.
Right. That's it, man.
That's what you should do.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you want to ruin your brain and make the head scratcher happen, and you want to check out that Zelda compendium, you might as well do it by going to densepixels.com/Amazon, because Amazon has all sorts of books with nonsense in them, like the Zelda compendium, that you can get to fill your head with a bunch of bunk. And if you do that, you're going to pay the same low price for those books, but we get a small percentage of the sale, which we use to pay for like hosting fees and equipment and stuff like that. So again, densepixels.com/Amazon, whether you're buying crazy video game timeline books or games or golf clubs or watches or whatever, use our link. Help support your favorite video game podcast.
Two last bits about The Legend of Zelda before we move on. Where in the timeline are the excuse me princess link, and where is the CDI link?
So I'm sure that the great timeline gurus at Nintendo ignored those particular aspects because again they don't favorably mesh with our notion. Now excuse me Princess Link could easily fall between the original NES games because I believe that story was supposed to be a direct continuation of the NES titles.
Those games take place at the end of the timeline where Link is defeated.
Yes, they do.
So that's the link you got, folks. That's it. That's the current link.
And then you have CDI Zelda, which really the world doesn't need to remember.
So the biggest fighting game tournament in the world happened this past weekend, Evolution 2018. The lineup of titles include Dragonball FighterZ, Street Fighter V Arcade Edition, Tekken 7, Super Smash Brothers for the Wii U, Super Smash Brothers for Melee, Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle, Guilty Gear Xrd Rev 2, and Injustice. And it's a big thing for fighting game fans. And I remember Terrence, he sent us a message because he was watching some of the pools and he was like, yo, I think I could really beat a few of these people in these pools. To which we replied, yeah, of course you could, because pools are where the unwashed masses go to think that they're really good at fighting games because they
say pool play. Like there's no qualification for Evo. Like your qualification is you pay the entry fee and you show up.
Exactly.
Any scrub with a dream and $300 can qualify. They will not be playing past the first day, but you can play.
Absolutely. So we'll run down the results. I didn't watch any of Street Fighter because Evo is a dick to East Coasters.
So let me tell you something. I don't play the East Coast card often because it's a little unfair. We on the East Coast are usually the ones that are catered to with everything when it comes to scheduling. Like every scheduled thing is catered to our beck and call, mostly because of New York City. Thank you, New York City, for being New York City, because that's what makes it important, and that's why people schedule around everything because they're the biggest media market in the country. So I don't play the card often. However, when you have Evo and your biggest game, your headliner, like the reason that most folks tune in, doesn't start your grand finals until 11:30 p.m. East Coast time on a Sunday, better get the fuck out of here. I'm sorry. We deserve better.
We do deserve better. And look, maybe if Evo actually kept to the schedule that they put out, it might be a little different. But no, they don't. Because every time, let's say Tekken is supposed to start at 4 p.m. West Coast, 7 p.m. East Coast, it ain't starting until 8:15. Like, because everything runs long.
Right. And also, like, people are like, well, they got to cater to the Japanese audience. Okay, I understand that. Lots of Japanese folks probably watch Evo. That Street Fighter Grand Final ain't starting until 11 a.m. or 11:30 a.m. Monday morning in Japan. So you're not doing any favors for them either.
They need to break these finals up. And I think they did for a few games. Like Injustice was Saturday, and I think one other one was Saturday. Look, the three biggest games, the three games with the most entrants need to be on Championship Sunday. The rest can go on Saturday. That's it.
I agree. Five games on Sunday, even though you're starting at 8 a.m. Pacific time. Actually, is that it's 8 a.m. Pacific time. Even if you're starting there, 5 games is too much. So you have to do 2 things. If you're gonna insist on 5 games, I'm sorry, but those first 3 games, so that'd be Smash Brothers. What else would that be? Smash Brothers. I can't read this tiny sign.
Smash,
Guilty Gear, and Tekken.
right?
It's top 4. You don't get to do top 8.
Right.
So if you're gonna insist on 5 games, you don't get to do top 8 for those games. If you're gonna do it 3, then fine, do top 8 for all 3. That's just how I feel about it.
Yeah, man. So I did
not watch any of it because my son was not cooperating with me on Sunday. He was being a little bit of a pill. So I didn't get to watch during the day as I normally do. And like I said, Street Fighter's 11:30 starting at night, up till 2:30 in the morning. Damn all that. I gotta work.
Yeah. It's a school night, guys.
Right.
I didn't watch any Street Fighter. I didn't even watch replays. I was so pissed. But Problem X is your Street Fighter 5 Arcade Edition champion. Dragonball FighterZ. Congratulations to Sonic Fox. I 100% knew he was going to win because he faced Goichi in the grand finals. And I knew Sonic Fox was going to win because of one simple reason, Brad. And that reason is black dudes love Dragon Ball Z. There's no way anybody who is not a black dude is going to beat a black dude in Dragon Ball Z Fighters. No way, shape, or form. Tekken, your champion is Low High. Smash Brothers Melee, Leffen. I did see that out of the corner of my eye, which Smash is something. Guilty Gear Xrd Rev 2.
Oh, we'll talk about Smash in a second. There's some controversy, as they say.
Oh, goody. Omito was your winner for Guilty Gear Xrd Rev 2. Super Smash Brothers for Wii U. Lima was your victor. Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle. Hi-Ho is your winner. And Injustice Rewind was your winner. They had a couple of Soul Calibur 6 exhibition matches and Super Smash Brothers Ultimate exhibition matches. But since they weren't official tournaments, who cares?
So let's talk about Problem X, a guy who got eliminated in pool play last year, a relative newcomer to the scene, much like Punk was last year.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike Punk, he was able to beat Tokaido in the grand final. Punk had a little bit of a rough time. Apparently, he was contemplating not going to Evo at all. So sucks for him. He's such a young kid, and Johnny. I talked to Johnny a bunch this weekend about Evo. He seems to think that he's still pretty shook from what happened last year, where he was in control and then just got ran from behind.
Oh, come on, young man. You gotta get back up on that horse, man.
So, but good for Problem X. So, and again, a lot of the trivia comes from Johnny. Apparently, on Sunday, the winners came from 5 different countries. So, like,
wow.
US won DBZ, UK won Street Fighter for the first time, Japan won Guilty Gear, Sweden won Melee, Korea won Tekken. So that's a pretty nice bit of trivia for you. Problem X, he got $50,000 for winning Street Fighter 5. That translates into 38,623 British pounds, or 7,724 Bison dollars, which I'm assuming the currency that they paid him in. So that was pretty cool. Good for him. Bit of a apparently a lot of the top guys got knocked out early. Like a lot of the guys you'd expect to be there did not make it very far. So that was a bit surprising this year. Sonic Fox is an interesting fellow for sure. Very happy for him and very cool. But why is he wearing a full Fox mask?
That's his thing, That's just his thing.
I get it. Like if you're furry, that's cool. Do what you do, and that's no problem. I'm just looking at like the getup he was wearing. Like he had like the fur arms and the tail and everything. Like I'm just imagining like sitting on that stage, for hours on end. That's gotta be hot, man.
You got to be sweating, man.
Fucking hot. You're basically wearing like a mascot outfit. and okay, I mean, I just don't like I can't imagine how much you're sweating that thing, bro. That can't be fun.
That's why when he won, he hit the ground because he was fucking passed out. It's so goddamn hot.
Dude, you are not lying, dude. You're not lying. So yeah, apparently there was some controversy with Smash Brothers. Not Melee specifically. Like Melee was fine, and that was the main one. But apparently the Smash 4 finals, which happened on Saturday, there were some people upset because I don't know if you know this, Micah. Apparently Bayonetta is like the bee's knees in Smash Brothers. Like all the top players use her because she has some techniques and some combos that are really hard to overcome. Mm-hmm. And the crowd was not having it. Mm-hmm. They to use the wrestling parlance, they went into business for themselves. So every Bayonetta player was getting booed mercilessly, to the point where one of the guys even flipped off the crowd after winning with Bayonetta when they booed him, incredibly so.
Wow.
And so and the finals ended up being a Bayonetta mirror match, apparently, which not to the happiness of the crowd, to the point where they were basically like, once they got to the final reset, they just stopped playing each other and were just dancing with the characters on the screen.
Yo, what is this? A Brock Lesnar wrestling match, yo? Come on, man.
WrestleMania 20. Yeah, apparently they got going and one of the dudes eventually won, but they didn't care because they were happy just because they were pissing off everybody.
Oh, man. Congratulations to all of the winners. Well, that's not why I watch Evo. Well, I do watch Evo for the grand finals, but I also watch it for announcements. Soul Calibur 6, 2 characters were announced, 2 returning. Song Mina, she uses a pole arm, if I'm remembering correctly. And Astaroth, one of my buddies I know is very happy because he is an Astaroth player. I'm excited for Soul Calibur, but at the same time, like, I kind of want to see, like, their characters aren't like as memorable to me. They're just kind of like there. So I really would like to see new characters from Soul Calibur, but Maxi's there, Tsurugi's there. That's all I really care about.
I mean, all of those words that you said, like, they make sense in separate context. Like, I understand what all the words mean, but when you put them together in the fashion that you did, speaking a foreign language.
Well, here's something that I know you will enjoy. Street Fighter released 2 characters today. Like, you can play them right now. G and Sagat. So G looks ridiculous. He looks like an albino Abe Lincoln crossed with a monkey, right? And G is this guy who wants to be the president of the world, and he is spreading his message through social media. Insert Donald Trump joke. And G is very unique in that he is momentum based. So you can do this thing where he gathers up energy and his attacks will become more powerful, and he can keep that momentum going, and he does not lose that momentum until his back hits the ground. I forgot that you can download these today, so I started to download last night, played a little bit of G. G feels pretty good. He's not a charge character or anything like that, but he feels pretty good. He feels like a weird rushdown type character.
Okay.
And then I mean, the king, the closest thing to a respectable dark-skinned character that I'm sure Malcolm will appreciate, although he's not black, but we could pretend, like people pretend that Lex Luthor in the animated Superman was black. He wasn't. Sagat Now, Sagat is Sagat, right? He looks badass. He plays perfectly. He plays perfectly. I played just a little bit of Sagat this morning before I had to go to work, and he felt really good, man. Um, he has a couple his V triggers. I think one of them turns his tiger shot into a 5-hit tiger shot or something like that, and the other one gives him new moves, like new kick based moves. But Sagat he looks wonderful. Like his character model is so hyper detailed. He's the best looking character that they have in this game. Um, you were a Sagat player in Street Fighter 4, weren't you?
I do dabble in the Muay Thai arts. Like
Will you be picking up Sagat?
yeah, of course. I mean, I got the season pass, so
Oh, you did. Okay.
come on, Micah. They got me back. As I should or would like to, but they got my money. So yeah, I will of course download these two. It's odd that Capcom's able to make pointed social commentary. Usually it's just very, ham-fisted stereotypical social commentary, so maybe they're getting better.
Apparently they had a guy dressed up as G doing the for the announcement, and it was weird. G is a weird looking character, but he's not that bad. Like, I've only played like literally 5 minutes of him, but
I like
that 5 minutes.
I'll check him. I'll check him out. So
and yeah, you might want to spring for his story costume because it covers up that hideous face. Tekken announced season 2, and they showed a trailer for Nina Williams' sister, who takes out a bazooka at one point in her super move, which is wonderful. And everybody's favorite Jackie Chan ripoff, Lei Wulong, is back. And this season will have 6 characters. They showed a third character who is just kind of random. It's Negan from The Walking Dead.
Yeah, you're gonna have to explain this to me because it wouldn't shock me if Negan had shown up in like Mortal Kombat, perhaps. Like that would make a lot more sense. But Tekken?
Look, Brad, in a game that has a colorful cast of characters that includes a boxer, a kangaroo, a cyborg, a robot, some ninjas, a dinosaur at one point, a bear, 2 bears. And it's and the game's story is all about corporate patricide. Yeah, why not? Throw Negan in there. Who the fuck cares? You got Noctis from Final Fantasy in it. Who cares? Who cares?
I mean, to be fair, they are consistent in their inconsistency. So I guess you have,
right. I for one love the randomness that is Tekken. They had a guy a dance fighter's in it, like a 70s who cares? Who cares? Who cares? And Negan will probably be fucking awesome. What did Johnny told me a very, very cruel joke, and I'm debating on whether or not I want to say it, and I'm going to say it because I found it.
We're not past the hour mark yet, so you're treading on thin ice.
I'm treading on thin ice. Well, I'm gonna do it. Quote our good friend Johnny, and I had to laugh. Sorry. I think they put Negan in Tekken because we all know Negan ain't afraid to swing a bat at a Korean. Hashtag too soon? Goddamn. For you Walking Dead fan, for those of you who are not Walking Dead fans, Negan famously, brutally killed a Korean character named Glenn in the show, to the point where it was just gross, man. Like his eyeball was hanging out of its socket and it was just crushed, man. But you know what? Fuck it. Negan. Who cares? I love it. I love it. I want to see other. I want to see other TV show characters in Tekken.
Why stop at why limit yourself to TV shows? Just get other gaming characters that you just wouldn't expect to see in Tekken. Sonic the Hedgehog confirmed for Tekken 7.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Okay, who cares?
They had Yoda and Soul Calibur. They can put Sonic in Tekken 7.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you. They had Yoda in Soul Calibur. Like what? So people are bent out of shape. Look, I guess if you're into Tekken lore and you're mad that you're mad that Heihachi threw his son into a volcano and now he's back, but he's got the devil inside of him and he transforms into a devil and he has a son that also transforms into the devil. All right.
It's a shame that oh wait, no, Konami is not. Yeah, that's Konami. Pyramid Head, why not for Tekken? Let's do it.
Who cares? Who cares? Fuck it, man. Like get everybody wants that Tekken cross Street Fighter. No, Tekken cross Capcom. Fuck it. Put Leon S. Kennedy in it. Who cares?
For Tekken 7.
Put Mega Man in it.
Sure. They have projectiles now. Akuma's in the game. They can do that.
Yeah. Why not? Fuck it, man. Put fuck it. Put Elmo in it. Who cares?
I knew you were grabbing for something. I had no idea that it was going to be Elmo. So
put Geordie LaForge in it. Who cares? It's a fucking fighting game, yo. It's fucking silly. You know what else is silly? Naming your characters after appliances. Dragon Ball Z FighterZ is getting cooler. The brother of Frieza, son of King Cold.
Really? These are real names.
Names.
Are we having another edition of Brad learns Dragon Ball Z character names and his mind is just blown?
I mean, look, I cannot confirm this, but I would not be surprised if he has a sister named Fridge and a little baby cousin named Ice Pack. I really, really wouldn't be surprised.
This guy looks like a shitty version of Shredder. He looked like Shredder if instead of a outfit, Shredder just had purple skin. Basically.
And he looks like Frieza. Like this is God damn it. Like his face looks like Frieza, yo. It just does. But look, I'm happy for you if you are happy. If I used to be into Dragon Ball. I think I bowed out like right when the Frieza saga was beginning. That's how long ago that was.
What the fuck is a Frieza saga?
That's the name of the arc that introduced Frieza. Like they have the Namek saga and all that shit, right? But look, people seem to be incredibly hyped. And one thing I love about fighting games and fighting game community, these people like they when they don't get hype, they stay hype, right? And I love the enthusiasm. Like that's one of the things I love about the fighting game community is their love for, like they're big nerds and their love for stuff. They're not afraid to show it. Every time Cell was shown at Evo during the finals, they let the intro play, and Cell in his intro screams at the top of his lungs. And what did everybody do? They screamed at the top of their lungs when Cell came on because they're excited. And look, if you're excited, I'm excited for you. I hope you get everything you want. Last up, Nintendo announces a Smash Direct for this coming Wednesday, August 8th.
Dude, you gotta love Nintendo. Nintendo shows up at fucking E3 and E3 Evo and is like, you're not going to put our Wii U Smash Brothers game that looks like our Ultimate Smash Brothers game up on the main stage on a Sunday. You're going to fucking put Melee on there instead. cool. We're gonna announce we're gonna announce that we're doing a Nintendo Direct. We're not even
right.
We're just gonna fucking announce, hey, we're doing Nintendo Direct. Oh, here's the Smash Bros. Ultimate exhibition, and kick rocks. Or something. Or as the parlance goes, eat shit, see you on Raw.
The Nintendo Direct is scheduled for 3 p.m. British summertime. That is 5 hours ahead of East Coast time. So that's what, 10 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And
it'll be on YouTube later. I don't think you need to appointment view.
No, I'm not. I'm getting this Smash because I haven't played Smash in forever.
So here's what's funny. So I guarantee you that they're going to announce a bunch more of these Echo characters, right? So the Echo characters we talked about during the E3 Nintendo thing, where they have the same basic move sets as other characters in the games, but they're essentially palette swaps, for lack of a better term.
Right.
And that just to me illustrates the different bar that is laid for Nintendo and Smash Bros. Could you imagine if Capcom was like, hey, we're going to announce this new character, and people are like, oh, this is going to be great. And be like, well, basically, he's going to have the exact same move set as Ryu, but he's going to look completely different. And he's going to have a whole new, the range might be slightly different, but he's going to do the same moves as one of the characters that's already in the game. How the fuck do you think that news would be received by?
Yeah. I mean, people would be ready to burn Capcom at the stake after Resident Evil 2 comes out.
So again, I just never forget the multiple standards that we have here in the game industry, especially when it comes to Nintendo, who has a much lower bar to clear than seemingly everybody else.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, Nintendo Direct for Smash. I don't like unless what do you think we're gonna see? Do you think we're gonna get like new mode announcements or new characters?
I think you will get a couple genuinely new characters. But then I think you'll get like you said, I think you'll get quite a few echoes. But you might get at best 2 brand new characters. That's what I'm predicting.
That's optimistic. I think you'll get one brand new character, maybe, and a couple Echo fighters. And if you're lucky, a new mode detailed, maybe.
I have no idea what that mode could be, though.
I don't know. People are speculating about what the single player mode is going to be, because as we all know, the Smash Brother like single player stuff has been pretty fucking lackluster over the history of the franchise. So I can't imagine what they're going to do. But I know people are like waiting with bated breath to figure out what that's going to be. Prepare to be disappointed. History would indicate.
I don't know, man. I think people will be hyped for it. The audience that is going to tune in live at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, they're going to be hyped for it.
I'm not saying Smash is going to be good. I'm just saying don't expect the single player offering to be worth writing home for. It's a fight. You know what they could do to impress me? They could detail their online suite. That's what they could do to impress me. They won't, but
no,
that's what I'd be looking for.
No, I don't think they'll do that at all.
So, but yeah, so Evo 2018 wrapped up. I didn't really. Normally, I hear a lot more chatter about it. I do wonder if the late start for the bigger games led to that a little bit.
Well, I think the biggest game, at least the biggest game in terms of number of entrants, was Dragonball FighterZ.
Correct.
And they got that on. And I think they did that on purpose. I think they scheduled it when they scheduled it on purpose. Maybe you'll see something different. Maybe you'll see a time change next year, but I don't know. Maybe don't put Smash on it. not the Smash from 2 console generations ago.
Well, one assumes that Ultimate would be the headlining Smash game, but then we are talking about crazed people from still playing fucking GameCube games competitively. What are you doing?
Yeah, is the game that good?
That's the thing, though. And again, I'm speaking from a position of ignorance because I'm not like a fucking hardcore Smash fan. But I would find it very difficult for someone to tell me that from a fighting system standpoint that Melee is vastly superior to Smash Brothers 4.
Yeah.
I would find that incredibly hard to believe. Like, you might not enjoy it as much as you enjoy Melee, but I find it hard to believe that from a nuts and bolts position that it is, that Melee is still the king of Smash Brothers games. Again, that would be the equivalent if like Street Fighter 2 was still like the main Street Fighter game played at Evo.
Right. Right. There has to be some level of advancement, right?
Right. And to be fair, like Street Fighter 2, a very deep and technical game. And arguably, harder than Street Fighter 5, you could make the argument, but no one wants to see that at this point.
Yeah, I don't. And I can never take the Smash final seriously just because I don't know. Maybe if it was the new shiny Smash, then maybe, but I don't know. I don't know. They look like they're doing the same thing in both of the tournaments that they had. So I don't know, but I'm sure we'll get somebody to scream and tell us how wrong we are.
So. As to the Smash Brothers, why Melee is the superior game. It always will be. God damn it! No matter. Why don't they just re-release Melee then? For fuck's sake!
Yeah, it's just
the fighting engine and just fucking add new characters to it and call it a day.
Because this is the one area where Nintendo refuses to go back. They're not gonna. They're ever forward when it comes to Smash.
Apparently. So, well, that's our show for this week. Again, if you're on Facebook, if you're not part of our fan group, that is densepixels.com/fans. You can hear about how Malcolm explained to us why Negan is the biggest news of the weekend from a new character standpoint. I'm sorry, Sagat coming back is still always going to be more important to me, but then Street Fighter better as well. Also, Malcolm, I'm calling you out, man. Tekken 7 better than Street Fighter 5. Come on, dude.
I wouldn't say it's better, but I do like Tekken. I like Tekken a lot. Like that's my number 2. Like, and then Injustice is like a distant third.
I told you I can't, like, Tekken just doesn't make sense to me. Like to me, it's like watching like two people just like not doing anything for a while, and then one person gets a move in, and then the round's over.
And then that's it. That's
it's you know what it's like? It's like watching like a welterweight boxing match. Nothing happens for a while, and then like one person lets an opening in, and then the other guy gets like a flurry of punches in, and then something kind of happens.
Yeah, they need to mitigate the damage on in Tekken games so that they last longer than 15 seconds. But other than that, I actually really like Tekken. And then
like watching Karate Fighter. Just like,
it kind of is. It kind of is. Mine is Street Fighter, Tekken, Soul Calibur. Then maybe, NetherRealm games. Over there. All the way over there.
You say that, but you're gonna be first in line for a movie.
I'll get it. Yeah, I'll get it.
I'm surprised they actually didn't announce that formally, finally, because we all know it's coming out next year.
Yeah, I mean they're on the Call of Duty cycle, right?
Right. Pretty. I mean, basically, yeah. I mean, every 2 years they release a new game, and it's always alternating between the two. We shall see. If you use iTunes or Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star review. Helps elevate the show's reach. Helps us get more listeners. So we appreciate that. We read them on the air as well if it's 5 stars. Subscribe to the podcast, like I mentioned. We're also on Twitch TV. I'm Dense Pixels Brad. Terrence is Apparition 410. Micah is Dense Black Nerd. And Terry is Suffix Carry. So that is it for us this week. Thank you all very much for listening as usual. And we will catch you all next time. See you. To the Dense Pixels YouTube channel. Click the subscribe button while you're here and make sure you check out our weekly podcast where we discuss the latest gaming news and our impressions on what games we've been playing.